And sets another day. Billions will kneel and pray. Anything to aid escape from the world so cold and gray.
Well, hello there.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome to another episode of Bones and Tubs. It is now officially March. I don't think last week was still February when we recorded.
I don't think so.
So we are almost out of the death grasp that is winter. And every year, it's like when you're a kid, you spend the night at your uncle's house, and then he comes into your bedroom at night and then chokes you for about 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah.
Not enough to actually cut off your breathing, but just enough to let you know that he could.
Yeah, if he wanted to.
And then he leaves. And to me, that's what winter's become.
He smells strongly of wild turkey.
Just like Uncle Jesse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good old Uncle Jesse.
But no, we're glad you're here listening to another episode of Bones and Tubs. It's a very exciting episode today, I have to say. I am filled with electricity right now, just to let you guys know what's about to happen.
Exciting. It's titillating.
Should we just go ahead and tell them?
Jump right into it.
Alright, we're gonna just do it right off the rip. Okay. Some personal news first. Not really personal, it's for you guys too. We are officially going to launch bonesandtubs.com. Now, what does that mean for you, you ask? Well, that means a lot of things. That means we have an exclusive website that you can visit. You'll be able to listen to our podcast on multiple platforms now.
You can also take a Sharpie into any Speedway bathroom and write bonesandtubs.com on the wall.
I wouldn't be mad.
We can't say that you should do it, but we could say that you might do it.
So when you're listening to this episode, if you just want to take a gander over at bonesandtubs.com, check it out. And then, say you've been listening to obviously you've been listening to our show on YouTube, because that's the only platform we've been playing it on. Now that's not the only option anymore. You can go to iTunes, and possibly in the future we'll announce it, other podcatchers to listen to our show. So you can load it on your phone, listen to it on your way to work.
Still trying to figure out the witchcraft required.
Yeah.
The last time I tried it, the pentagram exploded. Burnt my hands. Soul fire.
As I say, a winged fire demon came out.
Yeah.
Well, you got to call Bubba Elroy for that one.
Exactly.
But anyways, so that's our big personal news. But I'd say, we usually cover our current events at the beginning of the episode. I'd say the big current event of the day that I want to talk about, and I'm sure my partner wants to talk about, is WikiLeaks Vault 7.
Indeed.
Now, for those of you out there who don't know what WikiLeaks Vault 7 is, they just dumped basically all the information we ever believed, more or less, about how much spying they actually did on us, or their capabilities in spying on us. I can remember, I've been called a conspiracy theorist many years from my life, because I was fully under the belief that at any time they could tap into your cell phone, listen to your conversations via your cell phone like a microphone. So basically, we're all wired for sound.
Yeah.
All the time. And that's just as cell phones, TVs, computers.
And HD cameras.
Yeah, everything and anything. Now, we know they officially did it. Now, to some of my listeners out there, I'm sure they've agreed with this for a long time too. They believed it, there was no evidence for it, right? But to those of you out there who didn't believe me and my partner, when we told them these things, and they called us crazy conspiracy theorists, I just want to ask one question.
How's it taste?
How's it taste? How's that crow taste?
I like to picture myself standing over the naysayers' heads with my pants unzipped and a crow is hanging out of my pants and I'm forcing it in their mouth.
Like in my vision, yeah, exactly. You're like, all your naysayers are like, they're aghast by the news and they're on their knees and you just walk up to them and you unzip your pants and a crow's head pops out. It's like, go!
Yeah, the CIA really grabbed us by the pussy on this one.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, we have been saying this for years, and now it's just justified. But my biggest fear is that it's not gonna go away. People just don't care. Now everyone's just gonna shrug it up and be like, I don't care that they listen to me.
I don't do nothing wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
They can do whatever they want. I'm gonna let them do it because of America.
Yeah.
And freedom.
because that makes any sense. And liberals and conservatives both that listen to this show have to agree this is fucked, right? Like, they can't just, like, say that they're okay with this.
I think that hopefully there are enough people in the minority of thinkers out there that are going to at least share the shit out of these leaks and fucking talk about it and get angry enough to where they have to fulfill John F. Kennedy's wish, where he said, it's high time that we splinter the CIA into 1,000 pieces. That was a very shitty JFK.
You gotta do more like, hold on. You gotta split the CIA into multiple pieces, hurrah.
1,000 pieces scattered into the winds. I tried to pretend like I was getting the blowjob from Marilyn Monroe.
Oh, okay.
While I said that.
And it worked better, didn't it?
It was better.
Exactly. I mean, JFK wanted the truth so bad, and he wanted to, like, help the American people so bad that the back of his head exploded open. I mean, what are we going to find out now? I mean, there's a trove. They dumped a trove, and this is just like the baseline stuff we're finding out that every piece of technology you own, for the most part, is now wired for sound.
I knew it was going to be huge. Huge. When I saw a Twitter update the other day where it was WikiLeaks and they said they gave out the password for something that was already loaded, Vault 7, and I was like, I can't wait. I know that there are people everywhere in their mom's basements just clicking away at their keyboard. Yeah. And this is what happened.
And now...
We're only 48 hours out, too, so we don't know what else is coming.
Yeah, as I say, and now, like, that we know this... Not only that, like, I was talking to him about it. I was like, there was something even more insidious in all of this that I find in Vault 7 is that the CIA has been creating spyware and malware for years in order for devices that they necessarily didn't have control of to get control of.
Right. At taxpayer funding. They said our taxpayer dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars went into this program. They made all this malware and then they just left it unsecured, so now all these hackers and all these other countries have this shit. So
if you get your shit hacked or you get your identity stolen, I would go ahead and sue the CIA.
That's fine.
I mean, that's who I would go after.
Shit out of them.
Yeah.
I remember the story where I had read a long time ago this cable boxes. This is before like HD TVs and smart TVs and all this shit. They were saying that the cable boxes are watching you. And I had fallen asleep. This is when I lived at home still, my mom. And I fell asleep on the couch one day, and I wake up, and I, for some reason, remembered this story, and I look over at the cable box, and it had been silent because the TV was off and I was asleep. So I just, like, snapped my fingers, and I heard the cable box click on. And the idea was that the Scientific American said, well, we're only putting microphones in these boxes so that we can specifically tailor our advertising to you.
That's it.
That's all. That's all they were doing. But I would tell people this, and this is admitted. You can look it up, and they were like, "That's bullshit."
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Oh yeah. They would look at you like you got a fucking dick on your forehead. Let me ask one more time. How does it taste, motherfucker?
You remember that those commercials that the government put out? It was talking about saving money for feedthepig.gov or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to once again talk about my personal logo that I'm going to try and make a meme.
Okay.
Instead of feed the pig, it's eat a dick. Here we are.
Have you ate your dick today?
Yes. Eat that dick.
But yeah, so yeah, I mean, you guys could go do the legwork on Vault 7. I've done some already. I feel it's like you have to. It's a person. It's like you just found out your spouse is cheating on you. The spouse is the government in this case.
Yeah.
Or has been spying on you intently.
Right.
So you need to have a one-on-one conversation with your proverbial government spouse.
Bitch.
And find out why they've been doing this to you.
Right.
All this time. What, they don't trust you?
I'm sure he'll say a lot of the government, daddy government, will tell us that it was because he loved us.
Yeah, he only did it because he loved us.
Right.
So much.
So much. Then he hits us.
Yeah.
Puts us,
hits us with lead.
He didn't want to. He had to.
Tear gas. Everything else.
Yeah.
Fucking MK Ultra. Fucking double agents.
It makes you wonder how long, because this whole new thing, fake news, has been out, and everybody's kind of gotten tired of it. But if you remember that fake-ass San Bernardino shooting, where just like all the other fake shootings, they had these stories that came out simultaneously. 3 men, 4 men, 5 men shooting up the streets in San Bernardino County, and then it comes out, the story they push is it was a Muslim man and his wife.
Yeah.
Right? Well, they're talking about this whole fucking, for weeks after that happened, they were like, we're trying to get Apple to help us get into that phone, and they're not doing it. That was a fake-ass story.
Fake
as fuck.
Super fake fucking news.
You've had these things to get in. Why in the fuck would you even sit there and talk to us about it for 2 weeks? What are you trying to cover up?
They're trying to, calm us down like, no, we really don't do that. No, it was all a lie. Yeah, they've been doing that the whole time.
Don't believe anything the media tells you. Fuck them.
Yeah, for real. We're the only media you should be listening to.
Yeah.
At this point.
Drink the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
The end is nigh.
I mean, we've never lied to you.
No.
We've never told you falsehoods.
No. All we want to do is tell the truth until eventually, we hit episode 28 and then we both die in mysterious car fires.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I commit suicide by a shot to the back of the head.
Well, I've always kind of considered myself to be a Buddhist in the way that I would self-immolate in the streets. I would just sit down in my monk garb and pour gasoline on my face and end it all. I
mean, if the government was going to come down on me, I'd want to say some fly shit to him, like Obi-Wan Kenobi style, where I'd be like, if you strike me down now, I'll become more powerful than you can ever...
Yeah. Did you ever see that? I don't even know the name of the movie. It was a Christopher Walken movie. And when I was trying to perfect my Christopher Walken voice, I was going through all these clips. And one of them, it's like him. It's something Psychopaths is the name of the movie.
Yeah. Something like that, yeah.
Where he's talking about that thing. I think it was the end of the movie. He's like speaking into a recorder, and he was talking about like how to end the story that this guy was writing. I'd never seen the movie, so I don't know what he was talking about. But he's like talking about this guy who's in a hotel room with a prostitute, and how it ends with him like he's gonna fuck her, or he does fuck her, and then he ends up taking her and covering her in gasoline and throwing her into a room full of people, and then he comes back and he's on the street, and really it's just some face in the crowd. He made all this up, and he's like, oh yeah. Sorry, Christopher Walken tangent, number 328.
So yeah, did you want to get into? I know you had a statement prepared.
I did.
For today.
I haven't been out of my house for a while. I was in my safe space. I was actually triggered.
Oh, okay.
I'm Irish.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So
the struggles that my people have gone through over the years, it links all the way back to random Jew. Yeah. He once said, that he was on a boat. He rode by a Irish settlement. And he basically saw us as white chimpanzees. He said that while the Irishman and his grandfather were still wearing pigskins and hiding in the cave, his grandparents were in Solomon's temple. This deep-rooted racial hatred that I can't stand.
Yeah, I'm totally there with you on that one.
You know that factory that we work at, the factory of sadness?
Yeah. All
that's produced there is sadness.
Yeah, just hate and sadness.
One of our supervisors, by the name of Liu, last name Tennant, Lieutenant.
Yeah, Lieutenant.
He said, some pretty vile things. And, I went to Webster's dictionary for this because I like to be precise. And my therapist tells me that precision is the way of, fully articulating my emotions and getting them out there. So I don't have to cut anymore.
Yeah.
Basically. The definition of sexism is relating to or characterized by prejudice, stereotyping, or discrimination typically against women. That's bullshit. Could be either sex. Doesn't matter. And then the other definition I looked up was racism. A person who shows or feels discrimination or prejudice against a people of other races or who believes that a particular race is superior to another. Well, this lieutenant fellow that we work for, he said that he generalized an entire race.
Yeah.
In my case, it doesn't affect me because I'm not a white European male.
Yeah.
But he said that white European males are the greatest cause of death and destruction, basically, on the North American continent. Threw it out there. I don't think that this is appropriate.
No. Not for someone who's supposed to be a leader of men.
Right.
Mr. Liu.
Liu, I'm disappointed.
So, okay, historically speaking, I could see some points raised, but Liu generalized to the point of saying that that's still like the soup du jour. We are still the most violent, archaic individuals in the country. Now, we could split hairs on this one, but I'm not going to. I'm just saying maybe you need to broaden your horizons a bit.
Yeah.
Let's as a whole collective start moving towards the postmodern.
Right.
Okay.
Maybe it's 2017.
Stop blaming history for our falls and our slips as individuals, because some of us have rose far above what some classes would say would be our normal stations in life.
Right. All because of our own drive and personal initiative?
No.
Oh.
No. But unfortunately that's not how it works. Oh. But, let's try to move beyond that. That's my message of hope.
I'm trying to move past my, I've got a lot of deep-seated issues with my my past, as far as being Irish.
Yeah.
My people were sold into slavery, indentured servitude. They were treated like, they called us white chimpanzees.
Yeah.
It's fucked up.
Well, to one extent or another, every race on this planet has been put under the yoke by another. I'm mostly German, and even Germans were put under the yoke by Romans.
Right.
So, but I don't hold a grudge against Italians. Personally, I don't really care for Italians all that much. Every Italian I've ever met was a dickhead. Yeah. But that's just my personal view. Has nothing to do with,
that's their personality.
Yeah.
They're assholes.
They're assholes.
The ones you met were assholes.
Now, let me reiterate here. I'm not talking about Italian Americans.
Right.
Because in my eyes, they're Americans with an Italian heritage. I'm talking about actual Italians.
Right.
Every actual Italian I ever met was a douchebag.
Yeah.
But I've known many Italian Americans that I would call brothers.
Right.
And Greek Americans and everything else. People can look at my heritage and poke holes in it because of past transgressions of Germanic folk.
How about human beings in general have done shitty things?
Yeah.
Because, all humans have done shitty things.
Technically, we're all, 52nd cousins?
Right.
So, you could be pissed off at fucking Pol Pot and his fucking Khmer Rouge for all the fucking crazy shit that he did. Right. At the end of the day, fuck it. We've all been treated like shit by another group of people. We're all brothers and sisters on this fucking floating marble jetting through space. That could be flat.
Yeah. Could actually be a flat plane on the back of a turtle.
Exactly. We don't know. For sure.
Have you been there? No.
No.
Neither have I.
So, what the fuck do you know, and what the fuck do I know?
Why would NASA lie to you? Yeah. The San Bernardino shooting happened. They couldn't get into that iPhone. It's
not a straight answer for nothing.
Right. Never a straight answer.
Yeah. But yeah, so...
Or also, another one real quick. Not a space agency.
Oh!
Boom. Thought explosion.
Put some water on that burn. But, okay, so I say let's move on to the topics. Yeah. Let's stop being, move on to the topics and let's stop being topical.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, our first topic comes from our friend, Aaron the Red.
Aaron the Red.
Aaron the Red has sent us an extension of last week's question.
I love extensions.
Last week he asked us if we were exiled from the United States and couldn't live in North America at all, or I'm pretty sure the Northern Hemisphere or Western Hemisphere, or whatever. We couldn't live in the North American continent, more or less, where we live. And we gave our answers. So this week he asked, what third world country would you be willing to live in? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I gave this one some serious thought. I'm not going to lie. And, I scoped the globe for places where I feel like I would have a less propensity of getting killed. And, I summed it up. I thought Papua New Guinea. Okay. Now, it's still fairly, rural, mostly indigenous. Right. But I figured, if I had to be exiled and I had a sum of money, I could go there, buy some pigs, and have a nice little pig farm. And just live out my life with 7 wives and adopt the cultures of the peoples of Papua New Guinea. Yeah. But it has its drawbacks though. And every place in the third world would have its drawbacks because they still burn witches over there, man. I ain't cool on that shit. Nah. Not for real. But what else am I going to pick at this point?
What about a real shape-shifting witch though? Would you burn that bitch?
Oh fuck yeah! If she was shifting her shape, most definitely.
Fire!
But
burn her!
They're still using that as an excuse just to get rid of unsuitable women. Yeah. So but if I had to pick, I'd still say Papua New Guinea. I'm not going to South America. I'm sorry. I'm sure there's places in South America, but a lot of those aren't even third world anymore. Right. Unless you want to go to Honduras, which is has the high, or is it Honduras or Ecuador has the highest murder rate. Pass.
I like to think they're both jockeying for position.
Yeah. So what do I pick? Haiti? No.
Nope.
No. And it's not because of anything against the Haitian people themselves.
They're under a curse.
Yeah.
Google that shit.
They got something going on there.
Yeah. It's in the ground.
So what are my options left? Places in Africa? No.
We've overlooked one. I think my least favorite definitely is the one in the news right now, North Korea.
Ooh-wee.
As an Irish Muslim, homosexual, I don't think I'd get along very well over there.
No.
First of all, they're not going to let me practice my Muslim religion. I'm not going to be able to marry a 6-year-old.
No.
I'm sure they don't like the Irish.
No, they don't like anybody.
Homosexuals? Nope.
No.
They're ruled by a god king. It's fucking 2017 and we still have god kings.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about?
They still worship pictures of them.
We need to have I'm sure they've got, why don't they just drop a bunch of rods of God on that whole country and make it disappear?
Yeah. Is Thailand third world?
I don't know.
I feel like it's not. I feel like it's more, it has modernization in certain parts. So I would say at the very least it's second world.
I'm going to show my ignorance on this, but my only experience with Thailand, or it spins from two places. One, Street Fighter 2.
Okay.
Where you fight in Thailand behind that giant statue with that scary guy Sagat who throws fucking energy at you. Yeah. He's scarred up. And also, I hear that's like the worst place to go if you're trying to find a woman because they all look like women.
Well, yeah, like there's a heavy population of lady men in Thailand.
I'm cool on all of it.
So I'm pretty sure Papua New Guinea is my last option. I mean, unless you count like Antarctica.
Yeah. I
mean, Antarctica has to be considered third world because like nobody lives there. There's barely any technology.
Allegedly.
But, I mean, like, so, to answer your question, Aaron the Red, I would say Papua New Guinea.
That's just the one you want to go to?
That's the only option left, really. Because a lot of other ones, they've built up too much to be considered third world anymore. Like, I would say American Samoa, but I don't think they're third world.
Yeah.
And Puerto Rico's not third world. I can't. There's nowhere else for me to go.
I'd say if we're going to take our families and go together, I'd go to Papua New Guinea with you.
Yeah.
But if not, I'd just go to Detroit.
Like, if anybody's seen Apocalypse Now, there's a scene that was deleted from the original version where they come across an old French plantation that still exists, even though, like, they're surrounded. But they still exist because they have, like, a paid army of mercenaries and shit like that, right?
So you get it done?
That's probably how my situation would end up in Papua New Guinea. I would... any third world country I go to, I would surround myself by mercenaries.
Yeah.
That were very well paid. Very well paid. Like, 5 times higher than all the mercenaries in the area. So
give a nickel to each of them?
Exactly. So they would not be tempted to move on. Well, I kind of swooped over, like, Eastern Europe, but Eastern Europe really doesn't have any, like, technical third world countries. There's some that are, I feel like, on the brink. Like, you know.
There's still, like, some parts in that country, or those countries, don't they, like, they don't have any running water?
Yeah, well...
You live in, like, a bombed-out apartment building, and you shit in a bucket and throw it out the window?
Pretty much. Like, you know, Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan and stuff like that. Like, I don't think they're considered third world, but they're, like, on the brink. So, I mean, Aaron, if you consider those, I mean, I guess, being surrounded by other Europeans, but they're shiesty. They're, like... Eastern Europe's like the deep south of America.
They will definitely get a chance to drug you and sell you into a fucking hostel.
Special K, good for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm weird about Eastern Europe because, like, and this isn't a jab at the people from the South. Don't get me wrong. A lot of you are really friendly and awesome, but there are some sketchy motherfuckers amongst you.
Right.
I've seen them.
Look out.
I mean, then you got Florida. That's a whole other... I don't even understand Florida.
Right.
Every weird, like, if you, like, just click on the news and you see some weird fucking story about a dude having sex with an inanimate object, chances are it's Florida.
For sure. I follow a guy on Facebook called Florida Man, and he posts, like, the craziest shit that happens in Florida.
So, I mean, yeah, Papua New Guinea. I mean, did you ever figure out which one yours was? Or?
I said I'd just go with you if we take our families, Papua New Guinea, and
Big
then
farmers.
If not, I'll just go to Detroit, Michigan.
Oh, well, yeah, that'll work, too.
Because
housing is cheap in Detroit.
Let's be honest.
Don't knock it.
Right. We went to...
I'd still have my mercenaries, though.
I can't remember. What's the murder capital in Michigan? It's not Flint. It's, there's another one. We went there, whatever city that was, I went with my wife.
Was it Lansing?
It might be Lansing. Doesn't sound familiar. It was like the worst place to go in Michigan. And she went up there for something with her job, and I went with her. And while she was working, I took the car and was driving around town. I stopped at a red light, and I'm looking up housing in the area. And they had, like, this picture of this house was like a 2-story Tudor house. 4 bedrooms. 2.5 bathrooms, double car garage. It was on a small plot, but it's a fucking city. What do you expect?
Yeah.
$20,000.
Oh, yeah. Housing's cheap.
Eat the fucking dick.
There's entire neighborhoods that are empty.
Yeah. We should buy Bones and Tubs Corporation, LLC. We should buy a property and then post them on Airbnb as, like, rentals.
Yeah.
Super cheap.
Well, that's what, like, people are doing is they're going up there and buying, like... shitloads of houses and fucking refurbing them and trying to gentrify Detroit.
That's what we need. Healthy amount of gentrification.
Yeah, well...
When you become the murder capital, you've lost most of your rights to exist as a...
If you try to gentrify New York, you're basically making RoboCop happen.
Yeah.
You're forcing it.
That's fine.
I guess.
We have these robots now.
Yeah.
That are capable of firing...
Dude, I saw this robot running the other day and it freaked me the fuck out.
Is that the one with, like, the backward spider leg wheel things?
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah, fuck that. All right, well, thank you, Aaron, for that question.
I want to know, Aaron the Red, I want you to post on our page I want to know the country of choice that you would like to live in, and I would also like to know the third world country that you would like to live in.
We're curious about your answer.
You're not here with us, and I've been meaning to text you, but I figured we'd just make it public. We made ours public. Why don't you share with us?
Yeah.
Sharing's caring.
Or anybody out there wants to share with us, but you better give reasons. Don't just put like, okay, Chile.
I like the name.
Yeah.
Sharing is caring.
So thank you, Aaron. Our next question comes from our darling, St. Catherine of College Corner.
Blessed be her name.
Blessed be her name.
Peace be upon her.
Peace be upon her. Amen.
Allah Akbar.
She's asked, share your most hilarious personal story. / what's the funniest thing you have done or has happened to you?
I thought about this one a lot. I can't pin it down.
Well,
especially like our time together in the past as children when we were doing hard drugs.
Yeah, that's true.
Heroin.
You know, like I remember I did write down one story involving me and you when we were inebriated, involving Dr. Doug Hurdy one night.
Yeah. I
wrote that one down. We could just share that one.
All right, well, let's just go on a sharing fest until we get tired.
All right, well, I'm going to start. I feel like we should end with that one because that one is like, that's the finale.
That's the cream on the cake.
Okay. Now, my personal hilarious story, and, I'm all about self-deprecation, is the one and only time as I consider myself someone who normally doesn't crap their pants is the time I crap my pants.
Yeah.
I was in 7th grade. I wasn't feeling good that day, but I hadn't gone to a single one of my sister's soccer games that year. And my dad was like, you're coming with me. And I was like, I don't feel good, Dad. He's like, I don't care. You haven't gone to the other games. You're coming with me. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So we go, and we sit on one end of the field, and I'm sitting there in the little collapsible chair, and I feel like a rumbling in my tummy.
It's time.
It's bad. It's a bad time. So I get up, and the problem is that the porta potties were all the way across the pitch.
Mm-hmm.
So I start walking casually, but then it gets worse and worse, and the cramp gets worse, and it's bad.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, it was a nice day, and I was wearing shorts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so I'm like, I had to start slow walking, just like with my knees, to keep everything like above the knee and below the nipple line tight.
Come on, cheeks, we gotta stick together.
Yeah, pretty much. And so I'm doing that all the way there, and I get within like 15 feet of it, and it just let loose.
Your legs were so tight that they popped that balloon of chocolate milk you had between your legs.
So luckily, I don't think anybody saw, which all of you know now. You know I crapped my pants when I was like in 8th grade.
Yeah.
But I had to get rid of my socks because the poop ran down my leg.
Damn. Because
I was wearing shorts.
Yeah.
And I had to throw my underwear in the porta potty as well. I was able to salvage the shorts and luckily clean the shoes off. But it was a bad time. It was an embarrassing time. And, I've split my pants a few times in public. That was a good time, too.
I remember when we worked at Houston Woods, it was not an uncommon thing for me to walk up the back steps on the dock as you're sitting there, spread eagle, smoking a cigarette, and I see everything.
Yeah, I used to rock split pants at my old job all the time. And I didn't care because they only gave us 2 pairs of pants a year. If they split, they split.
Yeah.
And my balls would hang out. It happens.
I think Houston Woods is probably the largest, most recent amount of stories I can think of.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what's that show? Is it Trailer Park Boys where the guy's always got the drink in his hand?
Yeah.
And no matter what happens, he can be in a car accident, he climbs out of the car and he's got
still got the drink in his hand.
Unspilled drink. It was our boss would just have me do prep for what are they called?
Like a banquet?
Yeah, banquet prep. And he'd be like, where's he at? Looking for me. And I just pop up behind him. I've already had 3 shots of whiskey. I've got a double shot in my hand. I'm like, what's going on? The one time I got there early and I hid in the ice machine.
Oh, yeah. Scared the fuck out of me.
And the one time I tried to scare Ashley Overton, but she just was fucking too high to give a shit. She just stopped what she was doing, looked at me like, stupid ass white motherfucker.
The only story I can think of, and this one's innocent. This is an innocent story you can tell your kids. Me and my family, every year, we used to go to this place in Upper Michigan called Nevish Island. And one year, we found this little box turtle. Mm. And we kept it for a few days while we were on vacation. And we let it go into the wild, and it came back to us. And we're like, oh, it came back, And the last day of the trip, they were like, you got to get rid of the box turtle. And us being naive little children, we took it to the water and went out to the dock and just dropped it in the water. Now, unbeknownst to us, at the time, box turtles they're not aquatic.
Yeah.
So it swam back to shore. So what we did several times after it would swim back to the shore is we'd grab it, take it back out to the dock, drop it in the water again. And we did that about 6 times.
This turtle thought you guys were alien creatures trying to drown it to death.
Being major dickheads.
Yeah.
But
Just kill me, fuck!
But yeah, so that's a little kid story. A funny little kid story. But do you have any stories to tell before we tie this one up?
I just remember flashes of the greenhouse.
Oh, Jesus. This is a house that was lived in by Dr. Doug Hurdy at the time, and during our younger years we would go over there and
it's just a cat house for real.
Yeah.
Den of iniquity.
We came in whenever we pleased, did things all sorts of days, drinking and whatnot,
Can we talk about the ugly woman, or is that the last story?
Let's talk about the ugly woman.
I just remember. I feel bad now in hindsight, and I've apologized to him.
It still makes me laugh, though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I never apologized for the whole ugly woman thing, but I did apologize for the fact that it kept him from getting laid for such a long period of time.
Yeah.
But the universe at the time was just trying to throw women at him, to get the ladies.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how it occurred to me that I had the power to make other people do things with only my speech. But it started one day. We were all sitting in the greenhouse living room, and we were probably on a chemical cornucopia of just madness.
I think we were talking about Silence of the Lambs, weren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I look into the kitchen, and I'm like, he looks at me, he's like, what? Do you see who's in the kitchen? There's nobody in the kitchen. Oh, there's somebody in the kitchen. It's the ugly woman. Man, there's nobody in that fucking kitchen, man. I'm like, listen, man, go in the kitchen and bring her in here.
Yeah.
And after a couple minutes of prodding, and I'm almost to the point of thinking, like, he's not going to do it. He just gets up, fucking walks in there, comes back wearing a fucking robe.
Kimono.
Yeah,
it's not even a robe, it's like a kimono. It's like a silk mustard yellow kimono.
I don't even know where it came from. With his junk tucked between his legs, displaying his vagina, and just sits down and smokes a cigarette. This went on for years. I remember going over there one time, and there was probably three girls in his house that just showed up randomly, and we were sitting down and passing around the peace pipe, and I was like, "This is the kitchen." Shut the fuck up, man. There's nobody in the kitchen. She's in there, and they're all the girls are looking in the kitchen like, "Who's in the kitchen?"
Yeah, they're like the ugly woman. They're like. And then it was inevitable because he had to do it at that point because they'd be like, who's the ugly woman? Yeah. Who's the ugly woman? And then he'd do it. And then okay, you would see their initial reaction was laughter, but then it would turn swiftly to
confusion and horror.
Yeah. And that's the moment when you realize they wanted nothing to do with what was going on there.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's the part of the horror movie where some really fucked up shit was about to happen.
They took a few more tokes of the peace pipe, and then they remembered that they all had something urgent to do.
Yeah.
One of them left on the oven, the other one had to mail some letters, and somebody else just made up some shit.
They had to return some videotapes.
But
yeah, I mean, I feel bad for doing that now, but I don't feel bad for the fact that gave me so much joy and laughter during the time.
All of us, really.
I mean, I don't know what was so funny about it. But
I don't either. Just the fact that it happened.
Or the fact that, he did it with such pizzazz. Because he'd act like he hated it. But then he would go do it. And he'd wear the same mustard yellow kimono every time. And he'd, come in and he would, have it closed at first.
Yeah.
And then he'd do the big reveal. And then, we would, we would be laughing. I mean, it never ceased. Every time he did it, I would probably end up on the floor, choking because I was laughing so hard.
Dolphin laughing?
Yeah, oh yeah, big time.
Trying to get the
with the flourish of a jazz dancer, he would leave, and he would flash us the pet goat in the back.
Oh, yeah, the fruit bowl.
Yeah, the fruit bowl. He would give us the flash of that every time. Like, whoop, there you go. Like, I mean, it was seriously like, it was like his own little cabaret act. And I think even though he acted like he hated it, a small piece of him still loved it. I'm just going to Tarantino around to another time at Houston Woods where we're,
it was weird because you were really good at crafting fucking dicks out of potatoes. And they were like perfect representations of a fat chode-like dick with balls and a carved potato. And there was a hole in the middle that led back to where you could put in one of those oil squirters, fill it with water. And I fucking took one of them one time after we deep fried it. And it cooled down. It was just this golden fucking dick.
Yep.
And I'm standing in the corner waiting on one of the servers to come back into the kitchen. And I got it out like it's an actual dick.
Yeah.
And she stops. And just fucking, I'm standing right behind the swing door. And she opens the door. She's like going back to take an order back to the hotline. And she freezes. And she just looks at the dick. And at that time I squeezed the oil bottle and it just started pissing on the wall. And I think that broke something inside that girl.
Oh, yeah. I used to do that all the time. The new banquet workers or the servers, I'd get them at least once with the fake cock pissing.
Yeah.
And act like, I'd be like, man, I gotta take a whiz. And then just like, they come around the corner and I'm just pissing on the wall. And they would stop. Like one time, man, one of them stopped and I kind of felt bad because I felt like it was one of those moments where she was about to like lose her shit.
Yeah.
And then I just like pulled the dick away. I'm like, no, I'm just kidding. It's just a potato, man.
It's not real.
It's just a potato. Like I would say at that place, the only person that rivaled my ability to craft potato cocks was our friend, Lord Snow's ability to craft meat vaginas.
That shit was terrifying.
Oh yeah, he would and he put some fucking effort into that. Or he was really good at setting traps.
Yeah.
Like he was like Macaulay Culkin Home Alone style setting traps for people.
Right.
In that fucking kitchen.
I just remember it would happen at random times too, because he'd be busy as fuck, and like there's just fucking food flying everywhere. And I remember like running around, throwing salads on the table, on the plate, maybe not wearing gloves, because sometimes you just didn't have time to get gloves.
Exactly.
And you look over, and there's this like masterpiece, rare meat vagina.
Yeah.
And it's on a plate with lettuce to simulate pubic hair.
Yeah.
And he's covered it in some sort of white cream sauce.
And then just to hear his laughter. He had But I'd say the only other prank that I really relish at Houston Woods was one time we used to have this old hillbilly who barely had any teeth. He was a scraggly possum-like motherfucker.
Yeah.
And he used to be our dishwasher. One time I took 2 cans of butane and I duct taped them to cover up the fact that they were butane. And I took some pieces of wire and I connected them to the butane, right? And then I connected it all to a timer, right? Made this fucker look like a straight bomb. Like, this looked like a TV-style bomb. Set it all up. I set a timer on it. And then I put a bucket over it.
Nice.
And I timed it so that he would go back there and it would start going off. So, like, he's back there doing dishes. And, like, it starts going off. Beep, 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 beep. And he's like, what the fuck? And he goes over there and lifts the bucket up. And he's like, what the fuck? But yeah, I mean, we had some good times there with the pranks. I mean, not to say we don't still try to pull pranks at work, but these days it's like subjugated to like hoe checking and shit like that.
Yeah,
like
it's hard to do at a factory of sadness.
Yeah, you can't even hoe check anymore. Now they have caller ID.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, all you can do now is check people over the radio.
Yeah.
And that's not really funny anymore.
Still have some kind of anonymity.
Yeah. Some level of anonymity, yeah. Or there's always the bathroom walls.
Yeah, those things are just...
The bathroom walls tell truths that nobody's willing to say out loud.
Right.
I mean, or they might be willing to say out loud, but there's a few months ago, there was one particular individual that was getting his 10 minutes of hate big time. Mm. And I just couldn't imagine being him walking into the bathroom at the Factory of Sadness.
Yeah.
And there was like 5 messages about him on the wall that were just heinous as fuck.
Yeah.
And brutal. And I would just like, how the fuck does he come in here, see that, and just be like, well, fuck it, I don't give a fuck. Like, they were mean as fuck. But
yeah.
I mean,
if the bullying really makes you kill yourself, then that would have happened already.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'd say, oh wait, we still haven't told the finale.
Well, let's pause real quick because I'm about to expose my genitals to your neighbors.
Okay. I got a whiz too.
And we're back for the Coup de Gras.
Yeah, okay, so this was, once again, while we were having a good time with Dr. Doug Hurdy.
Not a doctor.
And previously, him and a roommate had another roommate who was a female who happened to be
Yeah.
of ill repute.
She was a woman of the night.
Yeah. So, and when she left a whole lot of stuff at the house, including a lot of lingerie.
Yeah.
So, mind you, we were very, very inebriated when this happened. I can't stress this enough.
Yeah.
So don't think that this is some normal shit for me.
Nah.
Or my partner, for that matter.
This is just what happens after a lot of chemical imbibement.
So the doctor was hard at work looking at stuff online, and me and...
in the flag room.
Yeah, in the flag room, and me and my partner decided we were going to fuck with him. So we went out to the garage where all this stuff was kept.
All of her worldly possessions.
Yeah, and we put on lingerie.
Yeah.
No, now mind you, don't try to scourge the internet for no footage of this exists.
It's not there.
This is just a story. In fact, I would almost go on to say it's fictional.
Right. At this point, it could be.
It could be. I mean, we were inebriated.
Right.
So we put all this on. Mind you, we are trying to control fits of laughter whilst we do it.
Yeah, I was dolphin laughing.
Yeah. And we go back inside, and Dr. Doug Hurgey's hard at work at his laptop looking at it, whatever. Mind you, this is back in the MySpace days.
Oh, yeah.
And he's, looking at MySpace or whatever.
Trying to find the perfect song that encapsulates his life that
exactly.
people listen to when they click his page.
So we're like, hey.
Turn around.
And he's like, he's distracted. He's like, fuck off, I'm busy. And he keeps going. We're like, dude, you need to turn around right now. Finally, he does and turns around and just looks at us and then just stares for a minute. And then just like, what the fuck? And then we just burst out laughing, and he starts laughing. It was a good time.
We had a fucking lightsaber fight with dildos.
Oh yeah. She had a bunch of dildos. And they were all cool. Like she was like a superhero. They all had different abilities.
Right. One was a lightsaber. The other one was floppy.
Yeah. One was like a wacky wall walker. You could literally throw it against the wall, and it would like.
Yeah. I remember we put one on top of this Christmas tree.
Yeah, I remember.
The other one's kind of fucked up because they threw it into that backyard where that retarded girl lived.
Yeah.
It wasn't me. But somebody else did that.
Yeah, so those are some... I hope those stories made you belly laugh, St. Catherine of College Corner.
I hope so.
And thank you for the topic. We love sharing old stories. And if you guys want to hear more stories, just be specific so we can figure out more stories to tell.
Right. I have no shortage of fucking crazy stories.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So on to the next topic. This is from a new contributor. And it was kind of like, he gave us a topic, but I think it was just in response to this week I posted a picture of Pinhead with our request for topics.
Yeah.
And
that the puzzle box that we found.
Exactly. And that inspired him to ask his question.
Yeah. Which
made me happy. That's kind of the point of me posting pictures with our topic catcher.
Right.
Right, is to elicit response. And that's exactly what it did. And I asked him what he wanted to go by, or we'd make one up for him, and he wanted to go by a name. Now, this is a normal name. I've wondered the mysteries behind said name. I don't know.
I learned about this, but go ahead.
Oh, okay, all right.
I'll share with you in a moment.
But his name he wanted was Aaron Stearns.
Yes.
Okay, and he said, in reference to the post, the photo of Pinhead, he said, classic horror versus modern horror.
Oh.
So,
yeah, there's no comparison.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, who is out there saying modern horror is better? Like, and this is even a nostalgia factor. I can take off my like nostalgia glasses and just look at it analytically and be like, classic horror is way better. Right.
The only thing modern that I've seen today, and I'm not going to say I've seen a lot of movies recently, but Insidious is the only good one I've seen.
Yeah, recently. I mean, Insidious is good. There's a couple that like hit good points and are decent horror movies.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, did you ever see It Follows? It Follows was actually really good.
Didn't see it.
But we're talking about a classic horror movie, the golden age of horror movies. Mm-hmm. I would say probably, I mean, there's some good stuff through the 50s and 60s, but the 70s I feel like are the classic golden age of horror film.
Yeah.
Because like, you had a healthy dose of like the cerebral, where you had like horror movies that you didn't see a lot, but it was supposed to like psychologically damage you to watch. But then you had the slasher flicks come out of the 70s too.
Yeah.
And, I mean, both good genres in their own right. I'm a huge fan of John Carpenter, like the director. He is, to me, probably the best horror director ever. Because he brought us some of the best horror movies ever made.
Yeah.
I mean, fucking Halloween.
Yeah, Halloween fucked me up.
Yeah. Halloween, fucking, to me, like The Thing, which is probably one of the best horror movies ever made, and it's still, to this day, I feel like it's underrated.
Yeah.
It's not, I mean, and this is back to the age of practical special effects, too. Like, I feel like CGI has ruined horror. Because, like they reached a pinnacle in the 80s when it came to, like, being able to show gore, and it worked so well because it was real, it was there, it was on camera, and it was disgusting as fuck. Like, even like The Fly. Yeah. Like, watching fucking Jeff Goldblum just turn to pieces was fucking horrifying.
Gross.
So, I mean, like, there's no comparison. Classic horror is way better. Plus, the greatest horror movie of all time came out of the 70s, and that's The Exorcist.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sure there's some out there who would disagree with me, but The Exorcist is the greatest horror film ever made.
Yeah. I think that the best things about the old horror movies are that you didn't see too much.
You saw enough,
You saw just enough for your mind to do the rest.
Yeah.
And anything subliminal. Like The Exorcist, we would, like, slow it down.
Oh, yeah.
Watch that shit with a VHS tape, and you eventually would catch a subliminal and be like, ah, what the fuck?
What the fuck is that fucking demon face?
Yeah.
And then, not to say, like, we put the post to Pinhead, Hellraiser to me is definitely in that top 5 horror movies of all time.
For sure.
I remember watching it as a kid and being scared of it, but then as I became an adult, I realized how much more was going on in that story. Same thing with, like, Candyman. Like, and those are both Clive Barker stories. Clive Barker is a genius. Like, he was able to, like, take that idea of, like, the power of the human mind being able to generate much more horrifying things than could actually exist.
Right.
Like, i.e. Hellraiser or Candyman. Well, Hellraiser is about a different interpretation of what hell is like, more or less. I mean, that's what I take it as. It's like, we can't begin to perceive what hell is because our simple meat bags are just way too fucking primitive to begin to understand what they're all about.
We're basic moist robots. We don't have the capability of understanding.
Exactly. We are not on the level of the Cenobites.
Right.
Like, the Cenobites don't consider themselves evil, even though they're ripping your flesh up. That's just part of what they do, because they're trying to express to you the next level of being. There's no... thank you for the question, Aaron Stearns. If any of you disagree with us and think that modern horror is way better on the whole, please try to convince me otherwise.
Even in the whole.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I mean, I'm a big proponent of more is less, or less is more.
Yeah.
So, like, it's like you said, you saw just enough. And that's the key. Like, these days, they'll show you everything right from the get-go. There's no big reveal for the monster or anything like that.
No. Like,
even in The Thing, where you see stuff early on, it still doesn't prepare you for what you see at the end.
Right.
And I think that's like, there's no longer a build-up. You know what it looks like from the beginning, so what's the fucking point?
Mm-hmm.
But thank you for the question, Aaron Stearns. I hope you keep sending us more questions.
We do appreciate it.
Because, I mean, I know you on a personal level, and we have like minds, and I feel like you can generate more topics for us. Last question of the day. This is, once again, from our darling, beloved patron. I'm just going to say she's the patron saint of Bones and Tubs.
Yeah.
St. Catherine of College Corner.
Peace be upon her.
Peace be upon her. Glory be to thee. Amen.
Allahu Akbar.
She asks, you have to lose 3 body parts with no anesthesia. What are you losing?
Am I gaining anything from this, or am I just losing them?
Let's just say you're not going to die.
Okay.
Let's say we're in a sadistic...
Hostile.
Let's say hostile, Pinhead,
We chose Eastern Europe as one of our areas of living, and this is what happened.
Yeah, this is exactly what happened. I'm 3 body parts, and I'm going to go on the assumption you can't pick, like, say, fingers. You can't say, well, I'll lose 3 fingers, right?
Right.
They're going to want more. They're going to want one of each, right? So I would probably go finger, toe, and probably, like, middle toe.
Middle toe.
Yeah, I feel like your balance wouldn't be thrown off as bad with a middle toe.
Right.
No thumb. I'm not losing my thumb.
You need that thumb.
Yeah, you need that thumb. I'd probably lose my ring finger. Once again, a middle digit.
Mm-hmm.
Something that doesn't upset the balance. Because, I mean, everybody would be like, what about pinky? Well, you lose that pinky. You can't hold a broom right anymore. It's all about balance.
Yeah.
So, middle ring finger. on either. I'd say preferably my non-dominant hand, of course. But I mean, if I don't get to choose, and they're like, "Well, we're taking one of them." Well, okay, middle ring finger then.
Right.
Toe, and then ear.
Yeah.
I could live without an earlobe.
Right. You don't need it.
Yeah. The anesthesia part would suck.
It's extra skin.
But I feel like those 3 body parts would also go fast, depending on how they took them. Like, I feel like they would just, like...
Nail clippers.
Ooh, wee. Like, they just give you, like, a fucking rusty-ass spoon. Like, this is what you gotta use.
Take it off. You have 32 seconds.
I'm fucking stabbing the shit out of that with the spoon.
Yeah. I'm gonna go pinky finger, middle toe, and right nipple.
Okay, nipple. Okay,
Yeah.
I can see. Okay, you know what? I'm going to amend mine.
I would keep the left nipple because the right nipple's always talking shit.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I didn't think about nipple. But there's like, I don't want to lose an eye if I don't have to.
Yeah. Spoiler alert, they can only take the nipple by pulling.
Ooh.
But it's coming off.
Well, like the only way they could take, like, I feel like they're going to make it more extraneous and longer the less substantial the body part you take, right?
Yeah.
So, like, the fact that I'm taking these small pieces that don't matter as much,
right,
they're going to make it hurt that much more.
For sure, yeah. They're going to enjoy your pain, so.
So what if they, like, either twisted your nipple off, like, with, like, a clamp, just, like, clamped down on it, and they just went... Yeah. You just heard a sound effect, but imagine my arms turning in one direction until the nipple came off.
Right.
But, or like, slowly shaving it off.
Yeah.
I feel like that'd be painful,
Potato
too.
peeler.
Ooh.
Cheese grater. Fine cheese grater. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Nipple tip.
Yeah. But yeah.
We gotta end this now. I'm sorry. It's time to pay the tax man.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, folks, we're glad you stay tuned for another episode of Bones and Tubs. Go check out our website. It's up now. It should be up as you're listening to this episode. If there's still some technical difficulties, don't worry, they'll be fixed. But go check it out anyways.
Yeah, we're just doing it.
Yeah.
Pioneers in the new age.
We have a gallery in the website for fan art. So if any of you get inspired out there and want to draw some fan art for us,
getting smacked with dicks, I can't wait. I'm sure there are going to be pictures of us getting hit with dicks.
We'll put some fan art up in our gallery.
I'm going to throw the request out to the Russian too. He's very good at drawing.
Oh yeah. Unflattering photos.
Unflattering as fuck.
Yeah. But that's okay. We're okay with unflattering.
For sure.
We're all about self-deprecation on this show.
We have to be.
But, so thank you guys for listening. Check out our website. Check out the Facebook page. Send us topics if you feel the need to. You can check out our Patreon. You can still listen to us on YouTube, but hopefully by the time this episode airs or by the time the next episode airs, you'll be able to listen to it on iTunes as well.
Do whatever you want.
Yeah, do what you want. Do as you please.
Share it all.
But yeah, thank you guys for listening. Keep up with the topics. It was a good week for topics this week.
Yeah.
And we'll talk to you guys next time.
We love you.
We really do.
With a virus, and life ends as we know it. Perfect in every sense. I know I'll never forget it. Though I breathe the toxic air, I won't let it consume me. Burning skin become my face. Oh well, it doesn't concern me. I have no reason to stay. No spirit to guide my way. No blessed thing to lead me astray. I'm free of shackles today. How it ends, I just can't tell. much to know, but I'll be fine forevermore. Wherever I must go, I have no reason to stay. No spirit to guide my way, no blessed thing to lead me astray. I'm free of shackles today, and there's nothing left for you and I to prove, and there's nothing we can say or do. And as the sky fades to black from blue, I'm so happy I just can't believe it's true. It's finally true. I'm sorry for breaking your heart. I regret it all. But now that we're at the end of the road, I have to beseech you.